Traffic in the city. Linger on the sidewalks where the neon signs are pretty. How can you lose? Downtown. Everyone's waiting for you. Everyone's waiting for you.
YouTube land and also to social media lands, welcome to an all new video. So in this video we're going to be talking about and reviewing a amazing film that just came out a few months ago into theaters finally. It actually was originally released in 2020 but finally got its theatrical release here in 2021, and is a amazing psychological thriller film that just was superb and awesome and can't wait to talk about it. So we're going to get right into that. Before we do that, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on this video and the other awesome videos I put up. And as always, people, if you enjoy my content here, definitely check out my other social media platforms such as Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram, where I pretty much post on a regular basis, so definitely check that out. As always, people, let's get right into this! So welcome one and all to an all-new video. So like I was saying before, we're going to be reviewing a film that just came out in theaters a couple months ago, and this is a great film that was originally released in 2020 and finally got its theatrical release here in 2021, so finally we got it in theaters, and this movie was so amazing. And that happens to be the film called Last Night in Soho. Yeah, Last Night in Soho. Yeah. Oh my god, this movie is freaking spectacular. This was such a great movie. So amazing. Such a great psychological thriller that has such great twist and just a really well-rounded story. Now, this film happens to be directed none other by an amazing director who I pretty much love everything he does. He's just a fun director. He does a lot of great stuff. And that happens to be the director known as Mr. Edgar Wright! Oh yeah, Edgar Wright! Woo! Edgar Wright! Woo! So Edgar Wright you might of course recognize, from directing such films as Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, Baby Driver, etc., etc. I mean, he's done a lot of directing, and he's just a superb director. And this film is no less other than that. I mean, this movie is just as good as anything else he's done. But another great film that I really enjoyed that he directed that I think doesn't get enough credit for how fun of a film it is of course the great film known as The World's End. Yeah, The World's End. Yeah. So this film is the final film in the Coronado trilogy, as it's called, which consists of Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, and then World's End. And World's End is just a great concept of film. Basically, aliens come down and start trying to take over the world, and these guys that are trying to recreate a beer run they did when they were youths basically get encapsulated into this, crazy alien takeover, and they're trying to save the world. It's just a really fantastic done film. I love the way they created the aliens. I love how they, came up with the concept. I love all the actors involved. I mean, from Paddy Considine to, Simon Pegg, Nick Frost, this great ensemble cast, and it's just so well directed by Edgar, and he just gave us this really awesome kind of sci-fi action film that is just so much fun with lots of comedy that's along the lines of like Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, and so forth, and it's just a really fun film. If you haven't seen The World's End, definitely check it out, people. It's worth the watch for Edgar Wright's directing. When it came to directing Last Night in Soho, he directed it to perfection. Oh my god, I can't believe how amazing this film is. and how well he directed it, because every aspect of the film was just so perfectly directed, from the acting by everyone involved, the screenplay itself and the writing, like the story is just on point from beginning to end. It has just a really well, concise and flowing story. Then also just the whole aspect and look of what they came up with for making what Soho looks like. And all the fantasy sequences and stuff like that were just so well put together, along with the CGI work and just all the aesthetics and just the costume design and everything were just so well done. If you haven't seen Last Night in Soho, directed by Mr. Edgar Wright, definitely check out his directing. He is such an amazing director. So this film has a pretty decent cast, and I was actually really impressed with everyone that was involved with this film. I was really impressed by all the acting. I thought they all did a good job. And of course there are some that I thought were better than others, but there definitely was a really good, well-rounded acting by all involved. Now, of course, to start us off, with this film is none other than kind of the main character herself. That is the mystery, who they're trying to solve the mystery about, like, what happened to this girl. Miss Anya Taylor-Joy! Oh yeah, Anya Taylor-Joy! Woo! Anya Taylor-Joy! Oh my god, this woman is amazing. She's such a great young actress. I mean, from The Queen's Gambit to, many other films she's been in, she is just a superb actress. I absolutely love her. I think she's just such an amazing, creative actress in her own right, and just really always brings her characters to life. Now, one film I think is one of her best performances to date and still is, and that of course is a great film brought by M. Night Shyamalan, and it is supposed to be a sequel to the film Unbreakable. And that of course is a film called Split. Yeah, Split. With the great James McAvoy. Oh my god, this movie is so freaking good. It's along the lines of Last Night in Soho, I feel, like that mystery psychological type of deal. And the whole concept of Split was so good, but Anya Taylor-Joy just really brought to life her character. A character that has so much in-depth background to her character, from being molested by her uncle to dealing with that years later and having to deal with the fact that her father passed away, and all these different things that she just really brought to life. And I thought she did such a great job of what would a person that had all those things happen to them, how would they react to this situation? And I thought that she brought that to a realness and just gave us this really dynamic performance. She just was so great in that film. If you haven't seen Split, definitely check it out for Anya Taylor-Joy's performance. She was really amazing in it. But it comes to her performance in Last Night in Soho, I really enjoyed it. I liked what she brought to her character of this, mysterious woman who, we don't know what's happened to. And I liked her fantasy elements of the film, and like how she was really different than her counterpart character, and how she kind of just brought this really great elegance to the character too, along with being mysterious and kind of devious, but at the same time very innocent. And I just thought that she did a really good job of bringing that to life. If you haven't seen Anya Taylor-Joy in anything, definitely check out her Last Night in Soho. She was really fantastic in it. So that brings me to the next actress I like to talk about that was in this film. And this actress is really kind of like the main actress herself in the film. She's the one having to deal with what's going on, finding the mysterious woman, Anya Taylor-Joy's character, and all that kind of good stuff. So, without further ado, this actress happens to be Miss Thomasin McKenzie. Thomasin McKenzie. I don't know if I'm saying her first name right. To me, it looks like Thomasina supposed to be, but there's no A at the end. But Tom, maybe she goes by. I have no idea. Thom, I have no idea. But Miss McKenzie was a pretty decent, actress in this film. I thought she over-exaggerated a little bit in the film, but all in all, I thought she did a pretty decent job. Now, her character happens to be, like I said, the main kind of antagonist character who all this craziness is happening to, and she's the one that's trying to figure out what happened to this woman that Anya Taylor-Joy plays. And she's having all these crazy things happen to her, and I thought that, Mackenzie did a great job of bringing that to life, and that, even though certain things were a little over-exaggerating and kind of a little bit annoying, she still did a really fun job. Now, another movie she was in that I actually really enjoyed her in and thought she did a good job is the great film that was directed by Taika Waititi and stars Scarlett Johansson in it. And that, of course, a film called Jojo Rabbit. Yeah, Jojo Rabbit. This movie is an amazing film. I love the whole concept of what Jojo Rabbit was. But Thomasin actually plays the Polish girl, or Jewish girl, I should say, that they are hiding from the Germans in the film. And she actually was really good in it, and I really enjoyed her performance. I thought that it was a very dramatic and great thematic material that she really brought to life as that character. And I thought it was so different than her character in Last Night in Soho, and I just thought it was a way better interpretation. I thought a better acting as well for her overall. Just a really fun film too, with some great comedic elements, with a really, dark theme, but that was very uplifting and very insightful, I felt. I just thought Jojo Rabbit was a really fantastic film. If you haven't seen Jojo Rabbit, definitely check it out for Thomasin's performance. I thought she did a pretty good job in it. But overall, her performance in, Last Night in Soho was really decent. I really enjoyed her. I thought she worked well with everyone, and I thought she brought a really greatness to this character. And also, I just really enjoyed her as an addition to that film that made the film feel very whole. If you haven't seen her in anything, Miss Mackenzie, definitely check her out in Last Night in Soho. She did a pretty decent job. So that brings me to the final actress I'll be talking about that was in this film. And that is none other than the late great, who unfortunately passed away shortly before this got released in theaters, end of last year, and it was just a dynamic actress who, everything she was in, she was always dynamite. And that, of course, is Miss Diana Riggs! Oh yeah, Diana Riggs! Woo, Diana Riggs! Yeah! Diana Rigg! Diana Rigg was an amazing actress. I mean, everything from her James Bond performance to, the Great Muppet Caper. There were so many things that she was so great at. She just was an amazing actress. I mean, she did a ton of films over the years, and just always was a really great pleasure to watch. Now, of course, one of my favorite films, of course, of hers is one I've already mentioned, and that, of course, is the 1981 film directed by Jim Henson, The Great Muppet Caper! Oh yeah, The Great Muppet Caper! Woo! Oh my god, this movie was so fantastic. Her as Lady Holiday was so fun. I loved her interactions with Miss Piggy throughout the whole film. And Charles Grodin. How they worked together I thought was really well done. And just a really enjoyable experience of the film. And just, she was so fun as Lady Holiday. And just was so good at the character. And just really brought a great, fun, kind of campy characterization to the character too as well. That was just very on point. Just like anyone in that film. They just always were very campy, and that's what I loved what Jim Henson and any of the other directors have brought to the Muppet films. And Diana Rigg was just really fun in it. And some of her lines were just really on point and fun and just worked really well with the film. And I just really enjoyed that. She was kind of like snobby, but at the same time she was very vulnerable. And it was just really fun and a great take on that character. Really enjoyable. If you haven't seen Diana Rigg in anything, definitely check her out in The Great Muppet Caper. She was really fantastic. Now, I absolutely thought this was the best way to go out in style, for your acting career. Especially, unfortunately, her passing in December of last year. She was amazing, this film. She was such a great villain and absolutely fantastic. And I absolutely was blown away by her performance. I thought she was so freaking good. From just the nuance to the performance to how she reacted to certain things as this character, she really put a great final performance into this. She was so superb. If you haven't seen Diana Rigg anything, definitely check it out in Last Night in Soho. It's the best film of her career, I feel, besides The Great Muppet Caper. She was so good and so evil in this film, and just a real great pleasure and a great twist in this film, too. If you haven't seen her or anything, definitely check out Diana Rigg. Rest in peace. So what is Last Night in Soho about? Basically, the premise story is the main girl basically ends up moving to London, or to Soho, I should say, to go to fashion school because she wants to be a fashion person. And while she's there, she ends up coming across this apartment she moves into where crazy and airy things start happening, where she's having these weird dreams that involve this woman that seems to be in trouble. And basically, these dreams and what's going on in her apartment start to affect her everyday life, and she's got to figure out what's going on and how to stop it and how to save this supposed girl that, in her dreams and so forth, has disappeared. It's a really great psychological thriller. It's so good, so amazing. Absolutely loved it. Came out of this in the theaters, seeing this going, oh my god, this movie was so freaking amazing. I absolutely enjoyed it. It's a fantastic film. The wife loved it, and she thought it was really fantastic too as well. And we both, cohesively, were like, oh my god, this is so freaking amazing. We have to see this again because it was just so good. If you haven't seen it, definitely give it a roll. It's in theaters now. Hopefully it'll be out soon on DVD, Blu-ray, and 4K. This movie was just amazing work by Edgar Wright, and just another great film. Can't wait to add to collection. If you haven't seen it, definitely check it out now. So that's it for this movie review, guys. Always thank you for watching. Thank you for liking. Also, thank you for subscribing. And if this is your first time here, or you have been before, don't forget to check out any older new videos you haven't seen mine yet. And as always, people, if you want to show support for the channel, definitely check out my links down below. Either from my great Patreon page, where you get to see exclusives, you get to see outtakes, all that kind of stuff, but for a great low price as well, to show support for the channel. Definitely check that out, people. And also, if you're a huge horror fan, check out the Horror Pack, where you can get great horror films right to your door every month for a great low price. So definitely check that out too, people. As always, catch you in the next one.